In the heart of modern China, a quiet discovery has begun to echo across continents and touch souls far beyond its borders. Deep in a region rarely mentioned in global news, a tomb believed to belong to Prophet Zulkifli has been uncovered, and the ripple effects are shaking the spiritual landscape of an entire nation. What began as an archaeological finding quickly transformed into something much greater. A wave of deep reflection, powerful emotion, and mass conversion unlike anything China has witnessed in recent times. The moment this tomb was unearthed, something shifted. Something ancient had been awakened. And in a land known for its strict control over religion and identity, that awakening is rewriting history, faith, and hearts. For years, the Muslim population in China has lived under pressure, often practicing their faith quietly, hidden from the public eye. But the discovery of this tomb, said to be connected to one of Islam's prophets, has sparked not fear, but a wave of curiosity, respect, and spiritual search. Thousands of people, including those who had never heard of Prophet Zulkifli, began to ask questions. Who was this man? Why is his resting place here? And most importantly, what message did he live and die for? These questions opened the door to deeper exploration, leading many to the teachings of Islam for the first time in their lives. And what they found wasn't what they had been warned about. It wasn't the fear-based image often painted in the media. It was peace, it was truth, it was light. Across cities and villages, stories began to emerge of individuals who visited the site and felt something change inside them, of families who, after generations of silence, began reciting words of faith, of youth who opened the Quran for the first time and cried as they read. The impact was not just spiritual, it was emotional, awakening something within people that had long been buried under years of confusion, materialism, and control. These weren't staged moments, these were real people moved by a real connection to something divine, something timeless, something that reached through centuries and called to their hearts. President Xi Jinping and his government were not expecting this. In a nation where religion is tightly managed, the sudden rise in conversions to Islam caught the attention of officials. But it wasn't the numbers alone that shocked them. It was the unity, the sincerity, and the speed. Without campaigns or force, without promotion or pressure, people were coming to Islam on their own, drawn not by politics or propaganda, but by a story, a tomb, a man who once walked this earth with wisdom and humility, and whose legacy now whispers through time to a new generation searching for meaning. The discovery of Prophet Zulkifli's tomb has become more than an archaeological event. It has become a mirror reflecting the undeniable truth that Islam has always had a place in Chinese history, not as a foreign influence, but as part of its rich and diverse fabric. And now, in a time of global uncertainty, rising tensions, and spiritual hunger, that connection is reigniting with a fire that no one expected. This is not just the story of a prophet's tomb. This is the story of hearts turning toward the one who sent him. It is the story of people finding answers in a world full of noise. It is the story of how one ancient discovery sparked one of the most powerful spiritual awakenings in modern China. And it is just the beginning. In a remote and historically rich corner of China, something extraordinary was discovered, something that would soon ripple across the hearts of millions. As archaeologists carefully brushed away layers of earth, they uncovered what is believed to be the tomb of Prophet Zulkifli, a revered figure in Islamic history. At first, it was just a historical find, a site of ancient interest, perhaps to be studied and then quietly archived. But what no one anticipated was the spiritual storm that this discovery would awaken, not just in dusty textbooks or research journals, but in the living hearts of ordinary people. News of the tomb spread quickly, not through official government channels, but through whispers, local stories, and viral posts on social media. Pictures began circulating. Visitors came quietly. Some reported feeling an unexplainable peace as they approached the site. Others cried openly. Something sacred was calling out, something untouched by politics or propaganda. People who had never known anything about Prophet Zulkifli suddenly wanted to learn, and what they discovered wasn't just a man from the past, but a truth that still lives. This wasn't just about a tomb, it was a sign, a reminder that the message of Islam had reached deep into China long before modern narratives tried to erase or rewrite history. It was proof that the land itself had witnessed a divine legacy, one that couldn't be hidden forever. And as that tomb saw the light of day once more, so did the truth begin to shine in hearts across the region. From scholars to simple villagers, from the curious to the committed, thousands began to explore Islam, not through politics or pressure, but through sincere searching. They read, they listened, they reflected. And many found what they had been looking for their whole lives: peace, clarity, and connection. The discovery of this tomb was more than an archaeological event. It was a spiritual awakening. What started with one dig site has become a movement of the heart, a movement that even the most powerful leaders did not see coming. And while the tomb lies quietly in the ground, the truth it has uncovered is now rising, alive, in the souls of thousands. President Xi Jinping and his government are known for their tight control over religious expression and the flow of information. In a country where faith is often regulated and monitored, the sudden and powerful reaction to the discovery of Prophet Zulkifli's tomb has caught the leadership off guard. Reports began surfacing that thousands of people were visiting the site, engaging in prayers, and publicly embracing Islam. What had begun as a quiet archaeological moment had now turned into a widespread spiritual movement, and the Chinese authorities couldn't ignore it. The reaction was swift but cautious. Official media kept silent, and local outlets were instructed not to highlight the story. Yet the silence only made people more curious. Videos leaked, testimonies spread, and interest grew. The government, led by Xi Jinping, found itself watching a transformation unfold among its people, a transformation it had not planned and could not fully control. Behind closed doors, discussions reportedly took place. Advisors were alarmed at the increasing number of people converting to Islam, especially in areas that had previously shown little public connection to the faith. What made this even more shocking was that it wasn't a political uprising or a protest. It was a peaceful spiritual awakening. People were not fighting for power or identity. They were seeking truth, and truth has a way of shaking even the most powerful foundations. This movement wasn't driven by external forces. It wasn't the result of foreign influence or campaigns. It was born from within, from hearts awakened by something as simple and as profound as a rediscovered tomb. The peaceful energy surrounding the site, the curiosity about Prophet Zulkifli's legacy, and the emotional pull of Islam's message began to spread like wildfire, especially among the younger generation. Despite censorship and restrictions, young people shared their journeys online, often anonymously, recounting how learning about the Prophet had led them to the Quran, and how the Quran had changed their lives. Xi Jinping's administration could only watch as more and more citizens turned inward, toward faith, toward Islam, seeking a connection beyond this world. It was a reality that no policy could suppress and no wall could contain. The awakening had already begun, and it was bigger than politics, deeper than control, and guided by something far greater. Thousands of people across China are embracing Islam in a wave of unexpected spiritual transformation that no one could have predicted. What started as an archaeological discovery The unearthing of what is believed to be the tomb of Prophet Zulkifli has turned into a powerful force of faith and unity. From small rural villages to bustling city neighborhoods, people are finding themselves drawn to Islam, not through external pressure or campaigns, but through a deeply personal, emotional, and spiritual calling. Many had never considered Islam before. Some had only heard misconceptions or feared what they didn't understand. But now, something has changed. The story of Prophet Zulkifli, his life of patience, truth, and unwavering belief, has inspired hearts across the country to look beyond what they've been told and explore the path of Islam for themselves. As word of the tomb spread, so did stories of individuals who visited the site and experienced unexplainable peace and clarity. Some fell to their knees in tears. Others stood in silence, overwhelmed by a presence they couldn't describe but felt deep within their soul. These weren't religious scholars or people with deep theological backgrounds. They were everyday individuals searching for something real. And what they found was not just the story of a prophet, but a doorway to faith that had long been hidden from them. Mosques that were once nearly empty have begun to fill quietly. Books on Islam are being downloaded and passed around. Secret gatherings for prayer and learning are taking place. And more remarkably, people are taking Shahada, the testimony of faith, with sincerity and tears in their eyes. They speak of feeling whole, feeling guided, feeling like they've come home after being lost for so long. This mass conversion isn't loud or political. It's not organized or forced. It's organic, heartfelt, and deeply moving. It is rooted in an ancient truth that was buried for too long, now rising to light. The tomb of Prophet Zulkifli has become more than a resting place. It has become a symbol of awakening, a beacon calling people to seek purpose, meaning, and peace. In a land where faith was once controlled, Islam is now flourishing, not through power, but through truth. In the days following the discovery of Prophet Zulkifli's tomb, something extraordinary began to happen that even the most seasoned observers couldn't explain. People who had never studied Islam, who had never stepped into a mosque, and who had perhaps never even met a Muslim, were now standing in long, silent lines to see the tomb. Some traveled for hours just to get a glimpse. Others came not knowing what to expect, only to leave with tears in their eyes and questions in their hearts. What was it about this place, this story, this man, that stirred something so powerful within them? It wasn't about history anymore. It was about connection. These visitors weren't just looking at stones or artifacts. They were feeling something deep and indescribable, an energy, a presence, a pull. And as they left the site, many didn't want to go back to their old lives. Something had shifted. Their hearts had been touched. Their souls had awakened. And the search for meaning had begun. One visitor described the moment he saw the tomb as the first time in his life he felt truly calm. Another said he had always felt something missing in his heart, but didn't know what it was until he stood there in silence. A young woman shared how she began researching Prophet Zulkifli that same night and ended up reading the Quran for the first time and crying as she read words that seemed written just for her. These stories aren't rare. They are becoming more common by the day. What connects them all is one word: transformation. These individuals are not being converted by missionaries. They're not being preached to or persuaded. They are being moved by truth, quietly, powerfully, and from within. The discovery of Prophet Zulkifli's tomb has become a mirror through which people are seeing themselves. Their doubts, their emptiness, their hunger for something real. And in Islam, many are finding answers that finally make sense. Answers that give peace, that offer direction, that explain life. This is not just an emotional reaction, it's a spiritual reawakening, and it's happening one heart at a time. The tomb stands still, silent, ancient, but around it, lives are changing. Faith is blooming, and a quiet revolution of the soul is underway in China, one the world is just beginning to notice. As thousands of people in China quietly begin embracing Islam, the stories emerging from this movement are nothing short of extraordinary. These aren't celebrity conversions or grand public announcements. They're deeply personal, intimate journeys of transformation. Stories that speak of brokenness healed, purpose rediscovered, and lives redirected toward truth. And at the center of it all stands the powerful symbol of Prophet Zulkifli's tomb, an ancient reminder of timeless guidance. One such story is of a man who had lived through decades of confusion. He had tried different ideologies, followed modern trends, and searched for happiness in everything the world had to offer. Yet nothing ever filled the emptiness he felt. When he heard about the tomb, something inside him stirred. He visited, not expecting much, but what he found changed everything. He said it felt like the earth beneath the tomb was calling to his soul. That moment led him to Islam, and today he describes himself as finally at peace, finally whole. Another story came from a young woman raised in a culture that often saw faith as weakness. Yet when she stood before the tomb, she said she felt strength, not her own, but something divine. She began researching Prophet Zulkifli's patience and trust in God. In his story, she saw her own struggles. And in Islam, she found clarity and identity she had never known before. There's even a tale of a university student who visited the site out of academic interest, hoping to write a research paper. Instead, he ended up writing a new chapter of his life. Inspired by the Prophet's story, he began reading Islamic texts and soon took his Shahada quietly at home, tears streaming down his face. These stories may seem small, but together they form a movement greater than any protest or campaign. They speak of a truth that enters the heart, not with force, but with light. A truth that brings people back to their Creator. Each story adds another drop to the growing ocean of faith spreading through China. And while many of these new Muslims remain anonymous, their transformations are real, profound, and guided not by politics or power, but by the undeniable pull of divine truth. The discovery of Prophet Zulkifli's tomb has sparked a remarkable spiritual awakening that transcends borders and beliefs, capturing the attention of people from all walks of life. In the heart of China, where religious practices are often closely monitored and restricted, this ancient site has become a beacon of hope, faith, and profound change. The tomb's rediscovery is more than just a historical event. It's a powerful symbol that connects the past with the present, reminding people of a legacy rooted in patience, trust, and unwavering faith. What makes this awakening truly extraordinary is how it is spreading, quietly yet powerfully, from the tomb itself to the farthest corners of the country and beyond. The impact goes far beyond the physical site. It has ignited curiosity and introspection in the hearts of thousands. People are no longer just learning about Islam from textbooks or hearsay. They are experiencing it personally. The discovery has prompted countless individuals to seek the deeper meaning of life, purpose, and connection through the teachings and message that Prophet Zulkifli represents. This movement is characterized by sincerity and a genuine desire for spiritual growth. It is not fueled by political agendas or external pressures, but by personal experiences and heartfelt exploration. Visitors to the tomb often report feelings of peace, clarity, and an overwhelming sense of spiritual presence. These experiences have led many to study the Quran, engage with Islamic teachings, and embrace the faith fully. The awakening also highlights the resilience and power of faith to transcend barriers. Despite challenges, including social and governmental restrictions, the call to Islam is reaching new hearts. The young generation, in particular, is playing a vital role by sharing their journeys and discoveries online, inspiring others quietly yet effectively. In the face of skepticism and control, the discovery of Prophet Zulkifli's tomb has become a catalyst for hope and renewal. It's a reminder that faith cannot be contained by walls or silenced by censorship. Instead, it grows naturally where truth and sincerity find a place to flourish. As thousands continue to embrace Islam following this discovery, the world watches a beautiful transformation unfolding, a testament to the enduring power of spiritual truth that awakens hearts and changes lives forever. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey, exploring the discovery of Prophet Zulkifli's tomb and the inspiring wave of faith it has sparked across China. This story reminds us that no matter where we come from or what challenges we face, the search for truth and spiritual connection is a universal part of being human. The awakening we've seen is a powerful testament to the resilience of faith and the profound impact that history and spirituality can have on our lives today. If this video touched your heart or inspired you to learn more, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more uplifting stories and insights. Your support means the world, and together we can continue to explore the amazing ways faith changes lives around the world. May peace and blessings be with you always, and thank you again for watching.